Hello and welcome back to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. So we're working on the refinery upgrade system, right? So we have rubies you can get. We've got 26 here in our inventory. You come to the refinery, you can talk to Ren here, and then you can talk to the different elements. And we've got a lot of stuff going on here. So we're still figuring out, I think I like this setup where we have this black arrow for the current level that you've got unlocked, right? So if you're on the selection of a level you have unlocked, our selection table here says it's unlocked already. The next one is purchasable because we have 26, which is more than the cost of 25. The next one's 50, as well as it's 2 levels away from our current level, so it's unavailable anyway. Even if we had 51, this would be unavailable. So we've got a couple of things left to add, right? Well, right here, we don't have a black arrow because we don't even have this element yet. So in order to get level 1, you need to get 10 sapphires, which at this point, since we have 10 in our inventory, we could technically purchase this. Unavailable. So we've got this system in place. I think we need to render on screen the cost, right? Because this cost that's up there is just like a debugging for us, but we should probably add the cost for the player somewhere, right? In our mock-up, we had it to the right of our selection here, which I don't know. I'm kind of torn because it's like, if it's unlocked already, do we have a cost for it, or do we have a check mark next to it, or I don't know. But we have a lot of it working, but today I'm going to go through and kind of dig through all the cases to make sure that we're triggering the right levels that are available in the inventory upgrade here, or the element upgrade. And then also we don't have a method right now to actually buy the upgrade and have it change. So right now, if we spellcast, we've got 3 around us, which only 1 is emitting particles, which is incorrect. So we have to update that. But also, we need the purchase of an upgrade to be so that, at least for Flamma, if you get level 2 over here, level 2 is 2 flames around us, level 3 is 3 flames around us. We just have 3 for show here. Because if we go to the spellcast entity count, switch it back down to 1, then we should have our original spellcast, which is just 1. Now, we do need, this, and this is what I've always thought is the hardest part of this system, is we need to render text on screen based on what we select and what the option availability was. So if we try to hit spacebar on this level 1, it shouldn't close the dialog, but the dialog box is programmed so that if we're on the last page, if our current page is equal to the last page and we hit action, then it closes the page and flushes its contents so that it can print 1 character at a time again. So what we need to do is have it so that when we hit spacebar, instead of closing this, we need to basically append a new page to the current dialog box system, and it's going to be populated with text that is going to be generated based on the selection state, right? So like this one is unlocked, so if you hit space, it should say this upgrade is already unlocked. If you hit this one, it should say, since it's purchasable, it should go to another dialog that says purchase upgrade, and then give you a yes or no. And then yes would make it so that your current level gets updated, so the black arrow would be on this one. It would make this unlocked. This is already unlocked. It would make this unlocked on level 2. It would decrement our ruby count, and then it would increment our spellcast entity count so that we actually get the upgrade. But then if you click this, it should say level 2 needed to unlock, something like that. Or it just says this is unavailable or something, you know. And then if we didn't have enough rubies, clicking on this should say you need more rubies, you know, maybe. So, you know, this brings up a couple different questions of like, do we have it, you know, if you click A on this, it would say you've already got it unlocked, or does it just close it because we've already got level 1? Does it just close it? You know, because you won't do anything. Or should it say something that says you've already got this unlocked? But then if you hit A again, it would say the same thing, right? You've already got this unlocked. Then we have to say a B button press is needed to exit the menu, which we haven't really explicitly said in the game anywhere. So maybe we can make, you know, in a dialog box that maybe start just closes the dialog box as well as B, just so that if people can't figure out, you know, I don't know, we get to make these decisions. But I do think, you know, if they purchase the upgrade, we should see our inventory get updated to the correct number, and we should see the black arrow move to this one, and then the green outline should turn into a black outline because it's unlocked, and the selection table should become unlocked. And then level 1 would remain unchanged at unlocked, and then level 3 would only be unlocked if we had enough entities after the purchase, or, you know, minerals after the purchase to actually afford it. So there's like a ton of little stuff, but it is cool that we've got, you know, we've got individual minerals rendering from our inventory, and we've got individual levels unlocked for each one, as well as potential different costs. They're all the same right now. It's just 10, 25, 50, which those are just guesses, but yeah, we need to, you know, hopefully figure this out. Hopefully we can figure this out by today and then move on, because this is like the last hard thing with the demo. I mean, real talk, like the closing cinematic is probably, or it's not really a closing cinematic. It's like a once you play the loot on the right scene and you play it correctly cinematic. That's the last hard part after this mineral system upgrade. So after that, we don't have very hard things. You know, we have a lot of polish to do. We have some more artwork to do, but basically all the features and stuff for the demo would be set. So we're having good progress. You know, we've got, you know, we're still trying to shoot for a demo structurally locked around April 1st. So if we can get basically all the main things in by April 1st, and then we just tweak and polish, and we won't post to Steam until we're happy and we've play tested the demo, so that we don't have any game crashing bugs and stuff. So I'll need people's help with that. So I'll be posting that in the Discord by the time we get closer to April 1st when we're done with this. And then, you know, yeah, we do have to add the Dark Temple. It's very easy to add that. I'm not too worried about that, because the player can't get very far into it because it's pitch black, because they don't have the yellow tunic yet. So we have a lot of stuff. We have a lot of stuff done, which is good. So we're kind of in the home stretch to the demo here. So let's hope we can finish our upgrade system. So let's take it one step at a time here. If we go to our upgrade element class here, we're setting, you know, it's a little weird, right? We've got a result table, a selection cost table, right? So all of these tables here. Yo, Sasquatch, thank you for the sub, homie. It didn't play any sound for me. I don't know why, but thank you, dude. Appreciate it. So this result table, you know, we have a result table, a color result table, and a selection cost table. They're all tables of 3 values. And the idea is the idea is that the selection cost table is your level 1 cost 10, level 2 is 25, and then 50. Color result table is actually a 4 integer table, or a 4 integer number. It just says it's actually just 3. This is kind of interesting because it's like we're using this to set the color for the outline of the selection box, and what we do is we just pass in the enum black or blue or green, whatever, into whatever index, and that changes the color. And it's actually, oh, okay. So this one is actually unique. This isn't no, actually, I'm not sure why this actually works, because we're using this color result table when we do a love.graphics set color, right? So color result table, you know, we set it to be that enum, and then we say love.graphics set color to be the result of this table at the selection index. So it would be the equivalent of passing in white, which would be, white is actually 4 numbers. It's 255 over 255 4 times for the RGB and alpha. So I'm a little confused why this is only a table of 3, but it is working. So yeah, I don't know. Result table is the string that says, oh, it's unlocked, or it's unavailable, or it's purchasable. So unlocked is black outline, unavailable is red outline, purchasable is green outline. So that's kind of how we've got the current setup. Now it is a little it's a little weird, right? So we have this calculate function, which just calculates if you can afford the thing, and it changes the colors of the selections, right? So we have to kind of step through this and make sure we're not forgetting anything, because this is kind of just weird, you know. And then we set the color result table so that we get the correct outline for whatever selection we're looking at. So yeah, I'm not too worried about this part. I'm worried about getting the next pagination for the text coming on. So that's the part I'm like not so looking forward to, but we got to sit down and do it. So we'll hope it goes well. I'm just gonna fix the exposure here. Okay. So the idea here, we want to make sure if active level 0, you know, we should kind of plop these down in an else if, so that we get every condition, right? So if active level 0, geez, man, it's a mess. But we'll walk it through and try to do it. So I don't know what we were going with here. Okay, let's walk it through. Why is this? Okay, let's walk it through from the top. So we've got an active level on this upgrade element. So every upgrade you can talk to is one of 4 upgrade elements, right? We've got a Flamma, Echo, Aquis, and Locks. So if our active level is 0, that's everything but Flamma, because we're manually saying active levels 1 on Flamma because we get it at the beginning, so we have it unlocked. Now in the demo, there's no way to get any sapphires or emeralds or topaz. So these will be all unavailable in the demo. So we're here, you know, right off the bat, when we calculate the element, we're saying, well, if we're basically anything but Flamma, all of the result tables in the current element, which we have 4 instantiations of these, you know, 1 for every element, we're saying every result table is unavailable. So they'll all be red outlines, you know, as long as we don't have on our player any of these values, like an emerald count or a topaz count or sapphire count that is passing or equal to 10. You know, we only have rubies. So let's say we've got 12. 12 rubies, none anything else. So we'll walk it through so that we do each active level, right? So like depending on the active level determines what is already unlocked, and then we can calculate if you can afford the next level, or if level 3 is permanently unlocked because you're still at a level 1, current level of 1. So right here we're saying, okay, well, if your active level's 0 and you're a type Aquis, we're gonna do this. And this is by the time we get actual values in our... This is basically determining how you purchase the first upgrade, which in the demo we won't have. So this we can kind of leave commented out, just so it doesn't confuse us. But this is going to be basically unlocking elements in the first place. So how this works is, as you explore the game, you'll find very sparse sapphire or emerald. You know, maybe you'll only find them in a certain biome, in a certain dungeon. So the idea is to kind of like, if you really want to, you could farm the one spot for one emerald over and over and over until you get the unlock. But ideally it's supposed to encourage exploration, because there's going to be a good spot you can find a bunch of emerald at, and that's probably going to be the best place for you to sit and unlock it. But you know, I don't know, I guess it's a balancing thing where it's like, well, if people really want to unlock the stuff, they can farm it, and there's just no stopping that, right? So if they want to farm it, they can farm it. But let's just I'm gonna actually move this beneath so it just doesn't get out of our way, or so it does. Yeah, so it does stay out of our way here. So unlocking elements in the first place. Okay, so if we go here, active level 0, we're all unavailable. Okay, cool. So let's do an else if for this active level 1, right? Because this is all the result table populations. So let's just keep all these in an else if, because an active level, you know, every upgrade element can only have one active level. So we'll do the else if here. Okay, so if our active level is 1, we know our result table 1 is unlocked. That's true. So that'll change our black outline, change to a black outline for this selection. Then we also know if our active level 1, okay, well, our active result table 3 is by definition unavailable because it's skipping a level, right? We can't go from level 1 to level 3. Okay, then, and I'm not so happy with this, right, where we're like getting what type, you know, we're getting what type of element we're at and doing a specific thing. Since what we're doing is basically the same thing, where we're saying if the, you know, we're basically saying if the element count of the element that this instantiation is triggered for, you know, if the type, you know, if how many of the thing we have is, if we have enough to buy level 2, then we're going to change level 2 to become purchasable. Otherwise, it's going to remain unavailable. And actually, it's not even remaining unavailable, it's becoming unavailable in the first place, because this is only if we have a active level of 1, which we do for a Flama. So we're basically just checking whether or not, we say like, can we afford a level 2? And then we check that. Now, else if our active level is 2, we've got to do some stuff. So we're doing, this is all the colors. So let's keep walking it through. If our active level's 2, then we know the first two results are unlocked. Yeah, that's true. And then if we're active level 3, they're all unlocked. Okay, so that, level 3 is covered, but we're missing an active level 2 and purchasing a level 3 upgrade. We don't have that just yet. So we need to do something similar here where we're saying, well, we're setting the result tables on an active level 2. We're saying, okay, at least the first two are unlocked. Now we don't, I guess we either have to initialize result table 3 to be equal to unlocked until we calculate that it is purchasable. So let's test this out, and let's just say that if we turn this off and we're going to go to our Flamma element, right? So we have this in the refinery state. We have a Flamma element right here. We're assigning this upgrade element into this Flamma upgrade item. So if we were to set in the Flamma upgrade an active level of 2, then let's see if our 3 is busted. Our purchasability of level 3 is busted, because I think it is. So we've got the level 2. We should actually, I think we should default the selection to whatever the current level is, right? Because that only makes sense, that it's like once you click on it, it should put you on level 2 because that's what you've unlocked. Now it knows this is unlocked. It knows this is unlocked. But there is no assignment here for level 3. So this is exactly what I was talking about, where we need to say what it is in a level 2. So we're going to say, well, let's set it off to be unlocked right away, so that it at least has an unlocked, or not unlocked, it should be unavailable. So we set it to unavailable, but then we need to set it to purchasable if we happen to have enough rupees for it. So right now it's unavailable, so we get the red, so that's looking right. But we do need, let's try to figure out how to do this set active. If we look at the cursor we're rendering, right? Where cursor? When we render the cursor, which is right here, we draw the upgrade cursor at align text X. Okay, so okay, and then a self.selection Y. So where are we setting this selection Y, right? Well, we set it upon initialization, which we initialize it with align 1x and a self-selection. Our self-selection, we default to 1. So basically we need to set this selection number to be equal to the active level once we trigger the upgrade of whatever sort. So we can either, I feel like we should make like a little method that just says set selection, right? And it's just gonna say, we just have a method on our upgrade element, and it says it's called set selection. Takes in no parameters. All it's going to do is say, if we run it, it's going to say that our selection Y is equal to, just like how we've got up here, selection Y is equal to a selection table at our self-selection. So what we can do is we just need to get the selection by the active level. So we're going to assign our selection to be equal to our active level. So we run this function, we set our selection. If we're in active level 1, it should default to 1, 2, 2, and then we say that selection Y we have this selection Y table, which is just how we did it. So we're going to get the Y index. We're going to get the proper Y value for rendering the cursor based on the selection index that we pass in based on our active level. So we don't actually pass in anything. We just call this method. So if we do this set selection method, we should pull a new selection based on the active level, which right now our active level is 2, but our active selection is level 1. So if we were to call this method, I'm hoping that this blinky box would be here on level 2 instead of level 1. So let's try to run this set selection method and see if that works. In our refinery state, we're going to see where we collide with our llama. Basically, we have this where if we collide with any of these upgrade boxes, we're going to calculate the upgrade. Now we could probably just add this to calculate, now that I think about it. But also, I don't know, I don't want too many things to be happening in a certain method, so I guess this is okay. So if we collide with these things, we're going to run our set selection method here. Yes, so we're going to set our selection, then we're going to calculate. So let's try it now. Let's see, I'm hoping for the blinky box to be on level 2 because our active level is level 2. Nice. Now it still pulls the correct cost value and the cost selection, so that's good. So let's keep chugging along and we'll try to do the rest of our level 2 element upgrades. So if our active level 2 here, we've got these initial values, which is great, but we need to check if level 3 is purchasable or not. So we'll do something very similar here, right? We ask what type we are. We see if we can afford the cost of this particular instantiation's level 3 cost, right? And then if we can, then it's purchasable. So I don't know. I want a better way to do this, but this works. So whatever. Selection cost. Yeah, we need to replace the selection cost table. Why can't we do this? Okay, I cannot figure this out. That's okay. We're going to check the third cost, right? So level 3 cost, not level 2 cost. Now, if our type corresponds with the thing we're checking, if we can afford it, greater than or equal to the amount that it costs, we're going to become purchasable, otherwise unavailable. Okay, so let's test it out. Now we don't have 50 rupees, right? So we've only got what, 9, 12? See, level 2, this should be unlocked, not red. So it's because we're changing this level 2 on the result table. We need to say that this is level 3. Result table 3, not result table 2 that we're updating. So let's see. Should be unavailable because we don't have 50 rupees. So it pulls us up on level 2, and level 3 is unavailable because we don't have 50 rupees. So if we were to go change our rupee count to be 50, we should have enough to do it. So it should be purchasable. So it should be green on level 3 here. Nice. It's purchasable. Okay. So it looks like we've got level 2 working. And then level 3 is just done because that's the last upgrade you've got. If you're an active level 3, you've got everything unlocked. So I do think we need a player-facing UI render for the cost of the upgrade. In the mock-up, I had it on the side of the selection box, but now I'm kind of thinking we just have a little cost table we put right above. I'm kind of thinking, yeah, we just put it right at, right above. Oh gosh. 238. What the heck? That is very weird. Why did that happen? Bad argument 1. Number expected. Okay. The color result table at the self-selection. Where do we do this color result table? We initialize it to 0, 0. Then we basically, so if we misspell any of these things, we're not assigning it correctly, but basically, we cycle through the 3 values in our result table, and we get whatever string it is, unlocked, unavailable, or purchasable, color result table. Wow, we don't have even camel case on here. Okay, so yeah, color result table here is in camel case, but our other ones are not, which is just really jacked up. So color result table, camel case, color result table. So color result table. How was it working at all without this? Bad argument 1, 238. It doesn't like this color result table. I mean, this is kind of what I was saying at the beginning, where I didn't understand how we can pass in 4 numbers and have this work. Well, apparently we weren't even passing it in. So how was it even half working when we did it wholly wrong? Color result table. You know, it should be. It's weird because yeah, we can't set colors. You know, I feel like this has to be a table, because what we're putting in is a number. Gosh, it has to be. Doesn't it have to be 4 values? Trying to think of how we're rendering the different colors, right? Because we're starting with a white cursor. So basically we're saying when we change the color of the white cursor, all we're doing is giving it a different, either fully red on the RGB before we do a draw of a sprite, because we're not setting the color of a thing we're printing. We're setting the color before we draw a white thing. So this is kind of like a unique draw in that sense, because it's like it's just modifying the white cursor to be a different color. So if we say we initialize color result table to be black, which is 0001 fully black, then we're gonna, whoa, why does this, how did we do this? How did we manage to do this? We need to turn these into all caps. So okay, so these, I don't know if we screwed it up by putting this fourth alpha channel in there, but I feel like we need it. Okay, well, and you know what? I think, son of a bitch. Upgrade element, bad argument to set color. Yeah, right here, when we go to set color, ideally, you know, ideally we want it just like this, where we say, well, we're trying to set color to white or green or whatever it is. So the index that we're pulling out should be equal to one of these enums, like white. So color result table at self-selection. So color result table, it starts off, yeah, what if we were to say that this is actually all black? So we just say black right here. And then color result tables generated based on the result table. So once we basically, we cycle through all of our levels, our abilities, our inventory, we get that result table, then we cycle through the result table, check the string, and assign the individual value at the index to be one of these enums here. And we default to black. So this should work. And it's weird that it's only broken on like the other element. Like Flamma worked fine. So if we do this, that works fine. If we come here, it breaks. So we're not doing anything different as far as I know. You know, the only thing different is we have this active level for Flamma, which isn't, I don't know. That shouldn't break it, right? Let's see. Yeah, still busted. So because we're crashing in the element upgrade, right? So we know the collision's working for it. We know we're assigning an active upgrade. So we basically, yeah, if depending on the index number of the thing we upgrade with, it's going to be one of these 4 upgrade objects. So let's see. If I just take out set selection, I'm trying to pinpoint what broke this thing, because it was working. Okay, so it looks like our set selection is just breaking it. So let's look at our set selection. Not here in the actual class. Okay, well, all we're doing is setting our selection to be the active level. So, oh, it's because an active level of 0. Hey, what up, Squinch? Yeah, we just figured something out actually, because we can't index a 0 item in Lua here, so that's why we're crashing. So basically we're gonna say, well, if our active levels equal to 0, meaning we haven't unlocked any of this yet, then we're going to set our selection equal to 1. Otherwise, set our selection equal to the active level, because we can't index a 0 there. So that should fix it. I forgot about that case of if we don't have the element unlocked yet, an active level would be 0. So can't index into the 0th position in Lua as much as I'd like to. Okay. Cool. So let's maybe we commit here, and then we'll try to add the cost to a little box above us. So let me think. Like, I kind of want to be able to, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking we could make our life a little easier. Instead of worrying about printing up a new dialog box, we can kind of just give us a new line above here. We can give us a line, and it'll say, if we're on level 1, it's unlocked. So it would print up, it would say cost : unlocked. And then if we're here, it would say cost : purchasable or available or something. And then this would be unavailable. So we would, I guess the cost would say the price, right? And if we have it, it would say unlocked. Cost is unlocked. Cost is 25, and it's green, and then cost is 50. So we might make a special dialog box that doesn't advance when you select. Because I think the most confusing part to me is like, how do we get out of this dialog? Because our dialog box is advancing if we hit the A button, but the A button should actually just purchase a thing, and it shouldn't quit out of this, because we should see if we go to purchase this, we should see our active level move here to 2. We should see this green turn to black. We should see the cost become unlocked. We should see our inventory go down by 25 because we just spent it. And we shouldn't close the dialog box, because I want to be able to see those things, get that instant feedback that you purchased it, and we can play a little purchase sound or whatever. So maybe we have it so that, so maybe, I think the move is we can modify our dialog box to not, we might need to make a new dialog box class, because what I want it to do is to do our singular, printing one character at a time, but we don't want the little text advance, because this is because advancing the text would close the dialog box, but we want the A button to actually choose what this is. So like, like, how do we get to decide how it works? So it's like, does it print up on screen in the dialog box object when we scroll to it, right? When we scroll here, it'll say level 1 is unlocked here in the text, right? So not if we select it, but if we just hover it. Then if we hover here, it'll say level 2 is purchasable, or level 2 costs 25 rupees, whatever we want to say. Level 3 is unavailable. Here in the dialog box, instead of in a little thing up here. Because especially when we think about trying to print the word unavailable, it just takes up half the screen, just that one word. Okay, so I think we need to remake a dialog box, and this dialog box doesn't It doesn't advance when you hit the A button when you're on the last page of dialogue, but it does print the result string, I call it, or whatever, one character at a time. And we need to kind of reset the text index anytime we select something so that it goes, okay, well, let's text index of 1 so we could start printing one character at a time, but we also start pulling from the table of page 2 of whatever this new dialog box is. And then we can get some advanced text that says this is unlocked, this is purchasable, this is unavailable. And then if you hit the A button on any of these, we just do the right thing, which if it's unlocked already, it'll not do anything. If it's purchasable, it'll purchase it. If it's red, it'll beep at you that you can't do it. And maybe the same thing if it's unlocked already, or maybe it makes no sound, maybe it makes a bad sound for red. I don't know. Okay. So yeah, we have to rehaul this dialog box, which shouldn't be that bad, right? All we have to do is have this. Gosh, I don't know. No, it is pretty bad. Well, we do have an option parameter when we pass to dialog boxes, right? That's how we're rendering a specific meditation dialog box with the current thing to choose, right? So like if we talk to the meditation idol, this is of option meditate, which is a special unique dialog box. Even though we're rendering it one character at a time, we also have some extra input of options. So yeah, we probably just need to add another option to our dialog box, make sure our update logic doesn't advance the page if we advance on the last page, and then it just resets the text index and the page of dialogue, but depending on the selection that we've got. Okay, I did not get enough sleep last night. Okay, so I say we commit here because we've fixed the active level stuff as well as the set selection, so that's nice. So let's commit. And we should look at our diff before we do this. What? Okay, we give us default Ruby counts, default entity counts. We set our default table. Okay, so yeah, we just fixed our active level stuff. Just want to make sure, get in the habit to make sure we always just look at our get diff so we don't accidentally commit hidden stuff. Because I've been getting lazy with that. So let's do it. This is set active level result tables. I don't know what we call it, man. Set active level result strings for all upgrade elements. Cool. Okay. Let's take a peek at our awful, terrible, no good, very bad dialog box. So this is jacked up. I mean, this works fine for spawning a dialog box given a text and it paginates through the text, right? That's what we made it for. So in our init here, we basically we're cycling through the text parameter that we pass it, right? So we give a text as a third parameter, and then we have this thing we calculate the length of the text. We set the text index to 0. Okay. We increment it right away while there's a word to check. Okay. So yeah, the most complicated thing about this is that we parse the string so that we know what each line of text looks like before we print anything. Because you're going to modify the original dialog box or create a class that extends it. I don't know yet, Squinch. I'm not sure. I'm kind of just talking through how it currently works and see if I come up with anything, because this is a mess. I mean, it works fine for what we programmed it for, but to adapt it, like you're saying, like to do a class that extends it, I'm trying to think if it's non-complicated enough for us to fix or to adapt. So we populate our pages table, right? So what's good about what we need to do is that it's only ever one page of dialogue. It's only ever going to say, like, you can buy level 2 upgrade, which can fit on one page. One page is 3 lines of text. Or it's going to say, you cannot afford this. Or it's going to say, you need to unlock level 2 first, if you're trying to get level 3. So we only have one page to worry about, so that's good. Now, the weird thing is that we're generating the result. We're generating this 2D array of strings based on what we pass in at the very beginning in our declarations here, which for Flamma, this string is the text that we're generating. But we need this to change based on what you've actively selected. So instead of initting, so let's try to do this where we have this where the type, and look at us, we put in, since we needed the hard-coded index, we had to put in a placeholder parameter for the type, because the 4th argument of a dialog box is in fact a type. So it's an option. So once we pass in the option, if there's a valid option, we're basically, I don't know what we're doing with it. We do, when we update, if it's a meditation idle, we do a specific thing where we listen for the input to do whatever, which is fine. But that's all we do. We just say meditation option is true. So meditation option just renders a specific thing. If meditation option, we're going to render this text advance as well as an arrow selector with 2 different values. I don't see where we're saying yes or no. Oh, right here. If meditate option, we render a yes or no. Okay, so it's almost like we need to do this check for advancing the page. Only if it's not a upgrade option. Right? So, because we don't want the A button to close the dialog box even though we're on the last page. So this is in the init still, right? We've got a whole bunch of an init because we kind of like... Oh, see? This is so jacked up. Because our init is where we're running through all this stuff. We might need to pull all this logic out into a function so that we can run it given a new string, right? Because previously we can't change the string that we initialize it as. But now we're trying to change the source string, so we need it to be able to recalculate which word goes on what line, because what goes on what line changes with different text input. So we probably need to pull this out into a function. Okay. I'm going to take a little break here while ads are going on, get some new water. I'll be right back. Okay. I've never seen a Beldamon screen. Okay. Yeah, this is a mess, man. This is a mess. Yeah, my brain, I mean, I know how gross this dialogue box class is, so my brain is kind of just like ignoring all the weird crap. Because I don't even know off the top of my head what we need to do to trigger the text to render one character at a time, right? Because we're kind of rendering, we go to, in the dialogue render here, gosh, what even is it, man? I don't even see where we're rendering the freaking text. Right here. Okay, it's so jacked up. It's so jacked up. So basically all we're doing is saying, let's render... This is so bad. Okay. Yeah, all we're doing is rendering the line 1 result and the line 2 result and the line 3 result, and these are all empty strings from the start, and we just append to the line 1 result as it progresses. So as long as we have a text index and a flushed line result, then our updating of the dialog box will cycle through and get every character one at a time to each line. But also, you know, we have to know what the line result becomes by the time everything is printed, and that's pulled from our table that we kind of parse out. So we have pages, and then we have a line within a page, and then we have a dot string within a page, which is ultimately what the line result pulls from one character at a time. So there's a couple of different aspects to this. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, we have a couple of things, right? So like, let's just say, I just want to say like, what needs to reset to print characters? Because I can't wrap my head around this. We have to kind of have to do it like one thing at a time here. So we know characters needs the check initializes to true. So we need to make sure that becomes true in order to reset printing. We need to reset our text index back to its original position. So it's like, we know that this needs to be 0. We have this character that we pull from a self substring of our .text. So we need to update this .text, right? So it's like, this doesn't really need to be reset because it doesn't change. But it does pull from here. Okay, and then we have a page that we're on, a page character count, which, where do we even get that page character count? Well, we start, God, I have no idea what that variable even means. We're saying that there's a page character count, how many characters are on a given page. So, and that starts out as 0. So when we increment the page character count, that's to determine what can fit on the next line. So that technically needs to be reset also. We need this word index grabbed, which needs to get reset, which is false. We need this word index, and a last character was space. Jeez, man. So what is this word index? Oh, this is nuts, man. Word index gets text index. We've already got our text index. We need our self word index, which is where? We don't even have this. We don't even initialize this. What the hell's wrong with us, man? We don't initialize a word index, but we are assigning it to a text index. So I guess word index can get nil upon a reset. It doesn't really matter. I don't think so, Squinch, because it goes... we use the character count to count how many characters on a line, I think. Well, we've got a page character count. We've got a line character count, word character count. Isn't the character count always going to be the same? Do you mean like... I don't know what you mean. So like if like the, I don't know, it's like a way for us to keep track of, we need to keep track of the word character count because we need to know if a given word can fit on a current line. We need to keep track of a page character count in order to determine when to add a new page, and then a line character count to know if it can fit on the current line. I don't know, dude. It's a mess. It's a mess. I mean, I totally bodged this together. I had no idea what I was doing, and I just got something to work. So let's say word index is nil here. If the box is always the same size, the same number of characters will always fit. Yes. Yes. I forget what the max limit is. but not the same amount of it's like, yeah, the same amount of characters can fit, but depending on if the characters, you know, if the 60th, like let's say 60 characters can fit in a box, but the 60th character is the start of a word, then we need to push it to the next page. So we kind of need to just count, I don't know, yeah, the I don't know, dude. I don't know. Let's keep chugging along through this and see if we... Word character count, word index gets text index, and we have text index. Word index grabbed is false. Word character count. Text length, that'll change. I don't know if I like that, doing the number here for that. Sorry, dude. Honestly, this is pretty boring stuff, so you're not missing much. This is something I was not looking forward to today. Line character count, word character count. Yeah, and that's we do that, Squinch. It's like, but there's like, it's hard because we don't know. Like there's also the case where the last character of the word would also put us at one index past the total amount of characters that fit on one line, and then we need to increment the line. So like we have to have like all these. I just bodged this together with like, I don't know. I don't know, dude. It's a messy implementation. Yeah, well, yeah. So, yeah, and this all stemmed from me not wanting to use a formatted string in Lua, because a formatted string will automatically loop to the next line, but I hated the way it looked when we printed it one character at a time, because it moved the word to the next line as it was printing, and I just hated that look. So we had to hand roll all this nonsense to fix that. Okay, line we are on. Holy shit, man. Because yeah, all of this stuff, I guess, I don't know. Because we have to kind of turn this into a function, because we need to rerun it when we change the text of whatever page in the option case of an upgrade, which we're trying to add. So this does work in the init, but it's so complicated that I don't know how to just reset it. So that's why I'm kind of going line by line and making sure that we can reset this, so that we can do a method where we reset it to the default values, so that we can reprint the strings one at a time. Okay, line we're on, page we are on, page length, page we're on, and page length. Page length. And then page we're on should also be 1. Page we are on. I guess I could, yeah, I mean, I guess I really could just copy everything in the init, but part of me just wants to make sure we're not copying anything unnecessary. I don't know. It's like, it's so nasty that I'd rather just kind of look through than just try to redo all the init stuff. I mean, that's essentially all we're doing, but I don't know. I just want it to be clear. I think I just want to I don't know. I'm not looking forward to this. This sucks. Okay. So yeah, we basically need to flush our pages table. So this would be all this stuff. So every page has a table, every page table has a table for each line, and every line has a .string field for each result string. And then we have a page character count on the page. Yeah, this is okay. Line character count, word character count. I think that's all good. Yeah. Okay, and then this should be fine. This should be fine. Last character was a space. We should have... Yes, we do have. Okay. Okay. So the good news is we do have this flush text that resets our line count and our text index. We do need a dialog ID index, because when we insert this, we hard code in a dialog ID so we know which one we're updating. And we save that as a .dialog ID. Is that what we pass in at the top here? Yeah, we pass it in as the index. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. We also pass it into the index field. Okay. So we also need, this was kind of the idea to reset. We need something like this to reset the printing. This just flushes it so it's empty, but we need to change all of the resulting strings. So we need a combination of the flush text as well as a repopulate string results table or whatever. So this is also something we need to change, is we need to go flush our line results, reset our line count back to 1, reset our text index back to 1. And isn't our text index 0? Yeah, because this is a method. This should just be self. Yeah, all of this stuff should just be self. Okay, I'm trying to figure out the Vim to delete everything before the shortcut. Delete 0. Oh, nice. Yeah, delete to the beginning of the line. Okay. So yeah, can we do this where we can... I feel like text index needs to be 0, not 1. The fuck? We have a self.current page printed character count? What the fuck is that? Current page printed character count. Okay. Guess that needs to get reset too. Yeah, I feel like text index should go back to 0. That might be why. That actually might be why our stuff is breaking. Well, I don't know. Okay. I want to say that this one probably is unnecessary. Okay, so we've got our flush text and then we've got our resetting. So the good news is we're always updating our dialog box, and updating will cycle through and update. It'll append all the line results with characters over the course of the time that we set it to print new characters, like the print speed or whatever it is. So we should be able to turn all of these resets into a method, call that method in the init, and also call that method if our dialog box is a type upgrade and we hit the A button in the update. And then we already have it where the B button will close the dialog box. So if we can get the Flamma text to be rendering over and over and over again once we hit the A button, then we're in business. Then all we have to do is change the result of the .text to be whatever we select as we select it, and then it should print the new string as we kind of hover over the selections. So we're going to turn all this into a method. This is still in the init. Holy crap. Okay, so we're going to say there's a function method on our... This will be called like... reset text, I don't know. And it's going to take in a new text parameter, because we need to know what text to populate when we reset it. So we do need a .text as well, reassignment. So we're going to say text is going to get this new text parameter. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, we had this .text. So yeah, let's get the page text length. As long as we pass in a string, this number value should be right. Okay, so we have this. You know, it's almost like in a case like this, we might have pages of text from an old page, because this isn't flushing pages 2 or 3. This is just flushing the first page. So part of me thinks we just need to also just reset our pages table altogether. So we need to have our pages flushed so that we can go and manually put in a table at any index. And then this will break if we want to do 2 pages of advancement on the update text. But we don't want to do that. I can't imagine where we want to print a lot of that. If we do, we just need to add it, but I'm not about to add it right now, because I don't think we need it. So here we'll flush our pages table as well. Yo, sounds good, Squinch. Thanks for hanging, dude. Yeah, catch you later. Have fun in Brazil. Okay. I'm going to take a pee break and be right back. Okay, so we still need to add the option of upgrade element to know that we don't need to advance the dialogue if A is pressed on the last page. And then we also need to just run this method and test it and see if it does what we think it does. So for right now, I'll try to call this method upon the last page press and see if it resets everything, because it should. Okay, so in the update, when we do this current page equals last page, right, we're looking for an action press. Action button is pressed, and then if our current page is equal to our last page, or our current page equal to the length of pages, we're gonna do all this junk. So let's just try to say, okay, well, let's actually just reset our text. And the text will reset is, this is a big test of text to test. Okay, so we're going to reset our text. I don't know if we need a break, but let's just see. We're looking for this to just reprint that new string we just gave it and see. So we're going to hit A. It closed our dialog box, so we probably do need a break. But this isn't in a loop, so this, we would maybe have to just comment out this other stuff. Because we don't want to, what this does is becomes finished printing and then it becomes unpaused, and that stuff we just don't want to do. We just want to test reset text. So we're looking for this new text to start printing one character at a time, and then also be able to hit it over and over and over again and get the same line over and over. So it's not working. Not working. 274 might give us a hint. Okay, let's see if we set these in this reset method. Okay, do we reset our current page printed character count? Current page printed character count, we do. We also reset page. Yeah, this is not good. Okay, so I think what's happening here, we flush our pages and we never populate them. Right? We just reset them. Because we basically just need to reset this text at the beginning of our update. We basically, because we have a whole bunch of init logic that oh my god, we have a whole bunch of init logic that needs to be in this as well. So all of this junk we need inside this reset text. So this is gonna get messy. While there are characters to check. Okay, so that's this is functioning as our new init. We're just gonna re-init all that stuff, so it calculates all the pages, all the result strings, all that everything, all that goodness. And then we need to delete all this old stuff, which for right now I'll just comment out. I don't know if we're missing anything. Why does this get true? I don't know why, but we kind of need it. Otherwise, it'll break our meditation objects. Meditation option false. We probably need all this junk. Activated gets false. What the fuck, man? I don't know if we need to do that. This is a mess. Finished printing. I don't think we had that, did we? We should have that. We should have this. We have this. In a Word? I think we have that. Do we have current page? No. This is a mess. What did we just delete? Pages in a Word. In a Word. Okay, I think we need in a Word as well. Okay. Line character. Word supplement count. What the hell is that? What is that? We're not even doing anything with that. Let's just get rid of that. Do we use that anywhere? No, we don't. Okay, whatever. Let's get rid of it. Okay, we should have all this stuff. Page we're on, current word length. I think we have all that. Page we're on, current word length. Oh my gosh, dude. This is disgusting. Okay, this shouldn't change. This will change. Text timer needs to get reinitialized. Okay, so the idea here is we kind of gutted all of our old init, so we kind of need to run our new method here by saying, well, let's go ahead and run our reset text, giving it the text option, and see if that even works. Doesn't work. Pages on 62. Okay. 311 index a nil value here. Line 1 result. Index a current page, index 1 string substring. Son of a bitch, dude. Text index. What the fuck, dude? I don't know. Part of me wants to see if text index set to 1 instead of what, 0? Text index of 1 instead of text index of 0 here. What, dude? Fuck. Oh, fuck. part of me wants to just restart this. Part of me wants to just dump everything that used to be in our init into a function, call that in the init, and then call this upon the advancement. Okay, I can't tell if this is breaking. So jacked up. Okay. Our get diff will be absolutely atrocious. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. And we're going to go to our dialog box. We're going to go to our init, and we're just going to copy the entire init here. And we're going to put this in a method called dialog box reinit. Okay, and we're going to call that. We're going to say, let's go ahead and reinit right here. Okay, but we need to pull in all the same options. So let's just say that we say all these options. Okay. I have no idea if that'll crash everything. I would think it doesn't change anything. So it looks like that's working. Okay. So what I want to try to do is say, what happens if we reinit this with a new text, with a new string? So like if reinit, oh my gosh. Is that, yeah, we basically want to say, because we don't want to have to pass in all these parameters again to the reinit. We only want to pass in text. So like if we leave okay, so like instead of like, what if what we do is we say, you know what, we're going to initialize how we used to. No problem. But then when we go to do a reinit, oh, this is gross, man. This is gross. Basically, we're going to say, when we go to do a reinit, all we do is update the text. And that's it, right? So we're doing the same thing as our init does, except we only want to change. We don't want to update things like the X or the Y or the option or the NPC or the index. We don't want to change any of that. We just want to change the text. So we're going to allow text to be inputted. We're going to delete anything that references those things that don't change. So anything that has this other than text, we don't need to change. It is absolutely disgusting that I just pasted this twice. But this is, you know, we tried doing it the legit way. It broke and I could not figure it out. And I didn't want to figure it out. We're just going to see if this re-init now works. So we still have the old init. That should be fine. So the question is, that looks like it's working. The question is now, if we try to run this re-init, upon doing something, does it work? Does it reprint out whatever text is on here? So here in our dialog box update, what I'm gonna do is say in our update, I'm just gonna say this. If input pressed F, I don't know why, then we're gonna say re-init with hello world. Okay. So if we press F when a dialog box is updating, do we get a new string and does it print one character at a time? We need to give, this is not input pressed, we want a keyboard was pressed. Okay, we've got an active dialog box. I press F. We do not get a reset. Huh. We got it after an advancement of the page. And then it looks like it flushed it. That is very strange. So it did overwrite the text. But if we do it here, it's like it doesn't print until we hit. Okay, so we do have this thing in the update where we're listening for, actually, it's like a button count, right? Yeah, right here. This A button count, we need to increment if we do this F key press, and then we should see that hello world back on. So if we say, let's increment that button count to signify, or to let's just see. We're gonna press F. We don't have it. Let's say if we press space. Let's see. No. It doesn't want to work until we hit spacebar. But ideally we can kind of just trigger this with a re-init. So what is happening upon a space press that is just not happening upon the re-init, and how do we fix that? Well, we do this. We increment our A button count when we press A. And our A button count because look, we're only doing all this update logic if our A button count is greater than 1, and we're manually setting it to 2 when we press F. So I would think that would then make it update, because it's only updating when we hit space, then it says the hello world 1 character at a time. Let's see if we hit F again after hello world's up, if it reflushes everything. So we said hit F space F space. Okay, so it does reset, but it doesn't. Uh-oh. What the heck? This is only updating this stuff if the thing we pressed was action. So let's maybe just test and say, well, if it's or love dot keyboard was pressed space, or yeah, space, right? Or was it F? No, F. Let's try that. Still doesn't do it, man. What the fuck? Well, what's happening when we press F that it's just not updating? Like, what happens? The only thing I could think of is that this A button count is pressed. Because we're only doing all this update logic if that A button press is greater than 1. So it would make sense that it would be text timer trigger. We also do this. What? If it's pressed. Okay, no. Let's try to do this a different way. Instead of triggering it here in the update, let's try to do something else. So let's get rid of because I think something's happening wrong in the I don't know, dude. Okay, what we're gonna do, yeah, we're gonna get rid of this. Because the first page isn't the problem. You know, we want to just be able to reset it once the dialog box is active, not, well, we were trying to do that. Shit. So, I don't know. Let's say, yeah, our dialog box is active. Let's say if it's an option of idle, we're going to run this reinit and see what happens in an idle. Let's take out the A button count and let's just try this. Okay, we interact with an idle. It does... What the fuck? I've got no idea. Okay, let's try it again. Let's say if the self option equal to upgrade, then let's run our reinit. Okay, and then we'll just make sure in our map declarations here, which we should pass in just upgrade. So let's see if we see hello world on a Flama upgrade here because we're running the reinit, or what happens. Just doesn't show anything. What if we increment our button count? Nothing. What if we don't do anything? Okay, yeah. Okay. I'm stumped. Let's try this again, man. I don't know what else to try. Okay, we just deleted all our stuff. Let's just try to reinit. Let's just try this, and we'll say, here's the dialog box we want. Yo, Sasquatch. Yeah, I just can't figure out any of this. I'm just trying to... I just can't figure out how to reset this thing. There's so many variables, and they're just getting jacked up. I just get restored to the previous state before we tried to change anything, so I'm just trying something slightly different this time. Dude, it's like, I mean, yes, but it's so gross. Like, if I were to just like walk you through it, it would take like 30 minutes, and you'd be like, "Why did you do this?" So, basically, yeah, like we've got, if we look at our dialog box, we're calculating all the pages of text, all of the lines of text, and we kind of like pre-parse it out into what page, which line, and what string result on each line on each page. So the thing is, we need to reset it because we're trying to print a new line of text depending on what you select in your upgrade system. So like if you select something you can upgrade, it should say, oh, do you want to buy this for 25 rupees? So we're just trying to get that text to print one line, one character at a time for whichever selection you're on. So I just want a little function that says, let's just reprint the string one character at a time with whatever text we want. So like I'm just trying to get the dialog box object to just print a new string one character at a time, and I want to be able to trigger it whenever I want. But the way it's set up is so gross that we do all of this pre-parsing to get what pages, how many pages we've got, how many strings we've got, go cycle through the text index. the update will cycle through the text index and append a result string for every character we've got, one character at a time. But all the pre-parsing stuff is like we pre-parse it to know that, okay, well, this word will fit on this line, or this word will push it to the off line, so we need to go add it to the next line, or add it to the next page if we're on the third line. All that sort of stuff here in the init. So I'm just trying to just get the same string even, just to reload and to print again if I hit A. Because there's another, the other issue is pressing A normally closes the dialog box because you're on the last page of dialog. So we also have this option of this, parameter called option that is going to go in and, we call this upgrade. This is the option on the dialog box is upgrade. And we want to say, well, if we're an upgrade option, we don't want to close the dialog box. We want to re-render whatever string printed up one character at a time, depending on the option you're on. So it's in the dialog box. There's this thing, the dialog box class is just printing the line result. And the line result changes depending on what page you're on or what line you're on. So like the line 2 result doesn't start appending character by character until line 1 result is fully printed. Same with line 3 result doesn't print until line 2 result is all the way printed. So this self.line 1 result is an empty string. It starts off as an empty string and then it appends one character at a time based on the page's current page we're on dot string. Can you take that logic and put that into a function? We tried and everything busted, and there's so many there's so many freaking, like, this dialog box class is almost 400 lines of code, and there's so many random ass variables that I was just losing my mind trying to reinitialize them to be correct, because it's like such a freaking house of cards that gets this working in the first place. So right now the current attempt is going to be, we're just going to overwrite the dialog box here with the original one and just see if we can kind of reinitialize it like this, and then maybe we just reinitialize it with, oh shit man, it's going to be so busted. That isn't going to work at all. I don't know. Let's just try something. Here in the dialog box, in the update, we're going to say if our option is an upgrade dialog box, then we're going to just try to, we want to clear. This is so jacked up. Actually, yeah, we should be able to say like this is, I don't know, I just want to see if something like this could work. So like we're just gonna erase all the dialog box objects in this scene. If by the time we upgrade a dialog box, it's of type, or update a dialog box, it's a type upgrade. So if that option's upgrade, by the time we go to update it, we're gonna clear out the old dialog box and we're gonna reinitialize a new one that says hello world. And let's just see if that even prints, because like there's a whole bunch of other issues with printing that, yeah. Yeah, in my brain, it really shouldn't be that difficult because all we're trying to do is just reinitialize it. We're just trying to say reinitialize it, but this time put this text in instead of the old text. And then go ahead, update as normal. But all we want to do is just like reinitialize the stuff just like we used to have it. But the difference is once we collide with a dialog box, we do like this A button increment count or whatever. So it's like, what do we call it? Dialog collide, something like that. Oh, see, we might have to do all this junk. Okay, I say we try to go about the reinitialize function method again, but this time we need to run these functions upon the F press or whatever, because maybe one of these things was preventing it from printing right away. Because this is another action press that could be fixing, because like it was working other than the fact that it made the first page blank and then you had to hit the page to get any text to render. We wanted it to just render right away. So maybe this was what we were missing, was the flush text, or the, you know, you would think that the reinit would have covered this, but maybe it didn't pull an active dialog ID. I don't know. Shit. This is also in the play state, not in the refinery state. So we might have to do that in the refinery state. Yeah, we do have that here. Okay, let's for the 5th time reset our project here. Okay, let's try this again. Just to see if we can get it to work, we're gonna copy everything in the init here. And I know, oh, not delete it. Yank it. And then we'll make a reinit. This is disgusting. I just want to see if this can work. Like we do this reinit. And it's gonna do the same thing, other than we this time we want to pass in a text and change the text value. So anything that requires a parameter that's not text, we're gonna remove because that remains unchanged. Okay, so we've got this reinit that takes in a string, and it basically just reinitializes this text box to its default value. So one issue that's happening is that the dialog box doesn't update until a button count is bigger than 1. So, and we had to do that because if you press a dialog box to trigger it, it also registers an action press the first frame it updates. But we don't want to, pressing a space would advance the page, but it's really just on the very first frame of printing strings. So what we have is we have this a button count that listens for the next button press and only advances the page on that second button press. So that's where I thought it was messing up on the first page, not printing. But even when we reset the A button count to be greater than 1, it still didn't print until we advanced the page again. So let's just see if we can track that down again. So let's go to our map declarations here, and in here we'll say that this is an upgrade option of a dialog box here on Flamma. Then what we'll do is go to our dialog box update, because we're rendering it fine. We just want to add this thing that says, well, if we're an option, then if we hit spacebar, we're not going to be doing that page advance. So let's go to where the current page is equal to the page length. Where is that? If the current page is equal to page length and our action presses, we're going to do all this junk. We're going to take this out for now because we don't want the page to advance. So if we run this, it shouldn't crash. Oh my god. End on 5:14. What the hell happened here? This is the second time this has happened. Dude, how are we doing this? We're like accidentally turning our enums into lowercase somehow, and I have no idea how or why, what causes that. What the we did it here too. What the hell? That is the strangest thing ever. Does yanking like undo case sensitivity or like what? Like I've never seen that before today, and it's happened like 3 times today, so I don't know what the heck's different. Okay, so we've got this reinit here. Let's go back to change this to only upgrade. Now we have this reinit, so let's just say, well, in our update, if our self.option is equal to upgrade, then we're going to listen for just a test to say if love.keyboard was pressed. If we press F, we want to run this reinit and see what happens. And we're just going to say, let's run this reinit, and we'll run it with the text, hello. Yeah, I just don't get that I've seen that issue 2 or 3 times today, and I've never come across that. So that's just what's weird to me. Okay, this needs to be an else if. Okay, let's see. So all we're doing is reinitting the text right here if we press F. Now, see, that is so weird. let's say we reinit, but we need this A button count to get reset to be greater than 1 so that it can update and print on screen. So that's the, or that needs to be after the reinit. Okay, so we hit F, and then we hit space, and then we can see hello world. So it's like, why? Okay, we hit action. We increment our button count. If it's greater than 1, we start updating this stuff. So that should be fine because we're setting a button count to be 2 upon this reset, so that shouldn't be the issue. Let's make sure, well, do I need to call render? We're updating, or we're rendering our dialog box. I don't know what you mean by that, I guess. I mean, the render, it is rendering, it's just not the right page, like for whatever reason. So I think it might have to do with this secondary action press where we go through here and do this stuff. I don't know. Let's say here that this, let's also do this, or okay, we're gonna hit F. It technically reinitializes because if we hit space, we do get the right string replacement. If we hit it again, it does it again, right? So like this is kind of what we want. But why is it only printing once we hit spacebar? Okay, all we're doing when we press action is this A button count. Let's just try to say, or love keyboard was pressed, F. Just trying to get to the bottom of why it's the wrong page. Yeah, it really wants the A button to be pressed, or the action button. So let's try. Let's try this a different way. And we'll go out back to the dialog update. We'll undo our was pressed F. Yeah, we'll undo that. For right now, we'll not worry about this. I just want to get rid of our other was pressed F. Okay. So we want to run this reinit on our dialog box if our option is an upgrade. But just reinitializing it puts us on the wrong page of printing. So it's like maybe we can just change. Well, and this is, because yeah, we don't want to do this here. But if the option is an upgrade and we've done this line of action press, let's say this, where if action is pressed at this point, well, then if our option is an upgrade, then we're going to try to re-init and see if that does anything. Under the action, what causes the redraw? The redraw is just currently like the dialog box. If you see the dialog box on screen here, it's always rendering 3 lines. It's always rendering line 1 result, line 2 result, line 3 result, and line 2 and 3 result in this case is just an empty string. So the redraw is being caused by a reinitialization of certain values in a dialog box update that cycles through, starting at text 1, prints, and it appends 1 character at a time to the appropriate line result. So like this is one reason it's just so confusing, because it's also like so weird, such a weird method of doing things. See, like here, why is it printing D? What the fuck, dude? I don't know, this should advance us too, and it doesn't. Yeah, I think so too, but I don't know why why would it turn the line 1 result to be 1 character of D of Hello World? Because we saw that mistake once before, and it was like, I don't know why it happened. Because yeah, if we put R, Hello Worlder, it does the R. Okay, so I don't know. Because what actually, yeah, what doesn't make sense to me too is that this should advance, this should close the dialogue by the time I guess since I hit space. Because hitting space is going to reinitialize it, and then it just like comes out again. So I feel like that's screwing something up, but let's try something else. This is just so weird. Why? So like that time it worked. So that's telling me that like it's telling me that the page is correctly reinitialized, but what isn't working is whatever value is kind of controlling whether or not we update, which I thought was right here. This A button count. I don't know, I feel like it's something simple I'm missing here. Let's print up the current page of the active dialog box and see, but it's not the current page because that's just wow, I actually don't get how we're doing this. Because the current page, yeah, let's try to reassign current page to 1 and see if that helps anything. No. Now there is no second page here, so I feel like this would break something. But it doesn't. Okay. If we press action, we're doing all this stuff. So if action is pressed, like what if we say, let's just do all this same junk after we reinitialize. We're going to reinit and then do the update as normal. Still doesn't work. What the? I feel like I'm missing some weird thing. Because it's almost working, right? Like here, it's working. It might be, let's print up the A button count on this. I mean, it should be right. Because we're doing the same thing. Yeah, it works. It works upon an initialization, but it doesn't work upon a reinitialization, which is, I think, yeah, some like the thing that's breaking it here is like it's almost like we need to close the dialog box and reopen it with, I don't know why. You know, let's just we just have to print up and see what's going on with the current page, because you know, when we reinitialize, maybe our current page, no man, I mean, it's right. Because we wouldn't be, our current page is 1 when we reinitialize, so it should be printing. Dude, I don't know. I feel like it's just like one tiny value somewhere and I just don't know what it is. Because the reinitialization puts the dialog box of us that we're updating back at the state of before we triggered it. So we need to go to the place where we trigger it and make sure we're not doing any special things, which we are doing some special things where once we collide with it, we do this where we become paused and then we flush text, we become activated, and then we save an active dialog ID. So maybe we just need to, I don't know, if flush text and activated gets true needs to also get set right after we reinit to make it match. I don't know. So if we do a flush text, you know, like the reinitialization should be the equivalent of flushing text, but I don't know why it's not working. So let's just try it. Because we need to be put into the state of the dialog box once it's printed. Well, that works. Okay, so that does work. I wonder if we can get rid of this junk now. If V still works, because we don't want this to work based on a V press. We want it to work based on a selection, right? We want the string to reinitialize whatever we're selected on. So instead of doing this, we want to say, and this needs to run not in the dialog box, but we need to trigger this based on the refinery update. And we can say, well, if down is pressed in our refinery state, really? We have to be doing this. Because where are we doing the selection update? It's in this upgrade element class. Okay, so in the upgrade element class, when we do this down selection, we basically need to reinitialize the text of the dialog box that we're active on. So not this self, but the active dialog box. And then, so yeah, all this self needs is the dialog box that's currently active, which we don't have access to, but we do have. We don't pass in that dialog box anywhere, but we do have an index. Okay, let's go here. This is the dialog box we want, and the dialog box itself has the index we're looking for. So if down is pressed, we want to go. Does this upgrade element not have? We have a type. Do we not have an index of a dialog box? We don't. Well, we can do it based on the type. We know what index we need. So we can put it here. Not if the option, you know, we could say local dialog box is going to equal the map 111 dialog box at index 2 is our flamma, just to test this thing out. So we're going to say, well, if down is pressed, we're going to snag the dialog box that we're currently looking at. Well, see, and then this is wrong because this is passed by reference, or passed by value, not by reference. So we'd have to do this and say dialog box 2 itself dot option if the dialog box 2 option is upgrade, which it is. So I guess we don't even have to do that. We just say let's go into the self a button count and increment it. Oh, this is bad. This is bad, but I just want it to work. Okay, we're going to increment the button count on Flamma. We're going to reinitialize it So we basically, yeah, not this self. What is this self? We're going to then reinitialize it with a new string of testing. Then we need to flush the text and become activated. And this is only for Flamma and only for a down test, but we're just seeing. Does this flush text and then activated gets true? I think it was the activated because the reinit reinitializes as non-activated. So I feel like flush text is unnecessary. I feel like just the activation is what we need. But now if we're in the upgrade element, instead of pressing V, if we go down, we can just say something like level 2 selected or something like that. Okay, level 2 selected. Yes. Now we're only doing it upon a down press, but this is close, right? We're able to reinitialize it with the right string of what we want to say. And then we can still get out by pressing A, which maybe isn't so bad, because if people don't realize B gets you out. But this is gross. This is gross, and it's only doing it based on hard-coded scene and value, which this is the only place to upgrade elements, so I guess it's okay. It's just not great design-wise. If we want to change the place the refinery is, we gotta come in here and move it. But we're getting the behavior we want. We just need to do some more logic here, because the string here, we reinitialize it to should be coming from this result table, right? So that we can say a specific thing about it based on its state. Not, we're not trying to just give a hard-coded string. We're trying to give an actual calculation of whatever this thing turned out to be. So we'd have to make sure, where is the calculate? It's a result table at this is so gross, man. Oh man. Yeah. This is what I'm looking for. A self-result table at a self-selection. So as soon as we update our self-selection, we want to do this reinit. So after we do this selection update, and after we reassign, actually just the selection update, because are we not calculating it? When do we even calculate it? We calculate it, I don't know where we calculate it. We calculate it in the refinery state when we collide with it. So that is wrong. Okay. Like the result table's fine because it's like it's calculated the instant. Oh my god, this is going to be wrong once we actually make the purchase and update these things. Then the result table needs to be updated, which I guess is okay. Okay, so we get our selection. Now we don't want we don't want this string. We want a self.result table at index self-selection. Because we want the thing that's being rendered here to be different depending on if you can afford it, or if it's unlocked, or if it's locked, or if it's, if you already have it, sort of deal. So let's see. Okay, so Flamma, this should say unlocked. This says purchasable because it is, and it says unavailable because it is. Okay, so this is close, right? We want custom logic to say like, this is close. You know, we need to do it upon a level 1 too, so it says level 1 is already unlocked, sort of deal here. But we're only doing this upon an input, so we would need to do this upon a... We would need to do a flush text. God dang, dude. Okay, I got an idea, because this is literally... Oh, man, it's bad. Yeah, I was going to say we just put it in the init in the map declarations, but that could be unlocked or it could be not unlocked. So we do need it to kind of adaptively do it once we initialize it. So it's like after we calculate it, we need to snag the result string. God dang, dude. We're close. It's really gross how we had to go about it. Like, I don't like the idea that we just literally duplicated all our reinit and omitted everything but text. It's just like so sloppy. But I don't really care. I don't really care because I tried it like 5 times doing it not as sloppy and it broke. Although I do think the activated might be the only thing we need. I don't know if we need flesh text. Okay, I guess we do need it. So I'm kind of like, are we not becoming activated in the reinit? Okay, well, in this case, let's just say we do reinitialize it to become activated, because that's the only time we use reinit is in this scenario where the dialog box is already active. So let's go and make sure that we can actually go into the upgrade element and take out that activated. But then we can also maybe just see what's different in the flush text that we're just not setting the same, because we shouldn't have to run this too. Well, it's a line 1 result. It's all this stuff. A line count, a text index. So what's different? Oh, it's the line 1 result. I don't think we're doing that in... Well, let's see. Do we do a line 1 result flush in a reinit? We do it in a init. We do it in a reinit. Okay, so yeah, we do change the line 1 result. Do we change the line count to 1? We do it here. I don't know where this is. It looks like we don't. In the init. Okay, so we just need line count 1. I believe we're doing text index. Yeah. Okay, so let's just make sure we do line count in the reinit. Is that really it? Oh, lordy. Okay, yeah, we don't have a line count. Okay. Line count gets 1. Okay. So now we shouldn't need to do those 2 things anymore. We should just be able to get away with re-initting it. So let's check. Re-init should also set the button count to 2 as well. So let's one at a time. Let's see if this is still working, and then. Uh-oh. The fuck? Okay, why? Oh no. We did bad. Oh man, this is bad. Okay, why is my undo tree not working? Shit, man. Oh, yuck. How do we go from 1 minute ago to 4 minutes ago, and that's the last update? I think so. I think so too, Sasquatch, because I hate that it's so nasty. Oh, man. We should have freaking committed while it was working, because it's busted now. Okay, so we're going to say we run our flush text on it, and we also run our, I forget what it was. Activated gets true. Okay, we've got... Okay, at least it's printing based on our down inputs, but we would need to do... Okay, so I guess one thing we can add is, instead of this generic unavailable, well, shit, we're rendering the color based on the string that is being passed in as this result string. So it's almost like if we had a new table of like info screen or something, when we calculate these values, we can get a little more detailed and say that, well, if we're on a current level of 1 and we're on the type Flamma element upgrade, then the what did I call it? The text info screen for this dialog box would say, level 1 Flama is already unlocked. And it could be a little more special than just says unlocked, right? It can say level 1 Flama is already unlocked. So we can kind of populate a better screen or a better text for it. But then, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be right back. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't like this for a couple different reasons. You know, one is like, well, we don't have control over how detailed the string is. It just will say whatever the selection result is, which there's 3 results. It's either unlocked, unavailable, or purchasable, which I already don't really like. But they used to be only in the back end, right, where we're just setting the color based on the availability status. But we want to be able to give like a special string depending on depending on which element we're looking to upgrade, our current upgrade reason, right? Because like there could be a reason, you know, if we go to this, it should say level 3 is only available once level 2 is unlocked, or something like that. But we also don't say the cost of it to the user either. So we can, maybe what we can say, you know, that's another reason to customize it more and say, this would say Flama is unlocked already. This would say level 2 Flama cost 50 rupees or 25 rupees. And then this would say level 3 is only available once level 2 is unlocked. And then we need to update that once level 2 is unlocked and say, okay, well now level 3 costs 50 rupees. So yeah, part of me thinks we need to add a whole nother table of result strings based on the reason, you know, more custom strings that we can print based on the reasoning for what's available. So I don't know, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot for me to wrap my head around. Okay, I mean, I say we commit right here just as like a checkpoint, and then we keep trucking along because we have to figure this out, man. We like the demo's supposed to be done in a week. If we can get this done today, I'd say we're in good shape for the rest of the week because we've got just little stuff to work on, other than the final cinematic, which I haven't decided how complex I want it. You know, it depends on I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay. So right now we're printing this from the result table of our upgrade, but what if we were to print it from the info table? I don't know. It's such bad names. Info table at self-selection. So let's say that we have an info table kind of like our result table. An info table has unique stuff like here, just for an example, you have level 1 llama unlocked. 2 is level 2 llama costs 50 rubies. And this is level 3 is unlocked once you buy level 2. Something like that, just as a test. So like now we're printing from this result table. Not result table, it's from info table. Okay, so we say level 2 Flama costs 50 rubies. Level 3 is unlocked once you buy level 2. Cool. Now we don't have it selecting. We need this getting populated correctly upon a calculate, and we need it updating upon an up selection, not just down selection. So and then we need to initialize it. We need to reinit the table depending on the activation of this thing, so of this dialog box. This is nuts. Oh man. Okay, yeah, let's say for right now we'll just put a some placeholder text here so we know if our calculate update is working on this. Okay. So first thing is let's do this reinit upon a up press as well as a down press, but also we want to do this only, this needs to be happening based on the correct index, which in this case is 2 for Flamma. So this would happen only if the self.type is equal to Flamma. Then we want this to run. because we want these need to be different. These need to be different indexes if it's a different type of element, because they all have their own text that they need to be reinitialized as. So in our dependencies, we'll go here. No, not dependencies, declarations. This is what we want. Okay, so if the type is equal to aqueous, then that is the third dialog box. Okay. Echo is fourth. So we're reinitializing based on the type for a down press. Now we need to do that after a selection for an up press as well. So we should be getting, other than the initial one, we've got info table, line 2, line 1. You know, we need the correct initialized variable, but at least it's updating. Let's test, make sure the other elements work too. Okay, they seem to be working. Okay, so now what we need to do is, by the time we calculate, like we have this thing called calculate, and it's calculating the result table based on the price if you can afford it, basically. So here we need to get a little more verbose and populate the info table with the correct values based on the type and based on the affordability or whatever. So it should be fairly straightforward. Like if we worry about, like, let's see what our active level is. Probably level 1 for Flamma. Yeah, level 1 is Flamma. So what we'll do is say on our active level 1 right here, if it's a type Flamma, if we have enough rubies to buy it, then what we can put in the info table at this index is refine llama to level 2 for, what is it, 50 rupees or 25 rupees? That's the string we're putting in info table 2. So if we do that in info table 2, if it's Flamma and it's a selected level of, active level of 1, we should see refined Flamma to level 2 for 25 rubies. So that's how we get the cost out, right? So this cost we should actually probably put, in case we might put other values in here, we can concatenate with a string of this self.cost table. what is it called? Selection cost table. Oh my goodness. Selection cost table at index selection. So whatever the ruby literally costs, not a hard-coded value. And we concatenate like this with a space. So now it should say 25 still, but we should be it should be adaptable to the actual cost of that value. Okay. All right. Refine Phlometer level 2 for 1025 rubies. For 1025 rubies. Why did we put 25 rubies in here? It should be at self-selection cost table 2. Okay. Okay, refine Phlometer level 2 for 25 rubies. Info table. Okay, cool. So we still have the correct color rendering because we can't afford it. We've got more than 25. But if we didn't have more than 25, it would say it'll say refining Phlometer level 2 costs 25 rubies. Costs 25 rubies. So if we were to go change, if we go to our player and say, well, now we have only 9 rubies, it should print us that other message. Okay, refining Phlometer level 2 costs 25 rubies. We could put ... you have 9. But we've got that right there, so that's okay. Okay, so this is good. This is good. So yeah, we just need to kind of set these info tables based on the results for all the given active levels, all the given selections, right? So it's not too bad. Because we can do this where you're like, okay, well, if it's aqueous, then the info 2 is refine aqueous to level 2 for 25 sapphire. And then if you can't afford it, refining aqueous to level 2 costs whatever sapphires. I don't know. S on the end of sapphires doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Rubies make sense, right? Oh shit. Uh-oh. This isn't good. Okay, refining Phloema costs info line 2. When do we run this calculate? We run it based on right when we collide with the dialog box, we calculate the active upgrade, but we're not actually setting the active upgrade. Yeah, we are. Active upgrade gets aqueous upgrade. Okay, so this is just, I don't know why wrong. Can we afford level 2? Well, if it's we can try doing this. Type aqueous. I thought this would work as straightforward as I thought, but okay, refining Flama. Info line 2. Fucking shit. Okay. Purchasable. So, I mean, is this just not the right string? It'll probably crash because we're rendering the color based on the purchasability. So something is broken that we didn't realize from earlier because, yeah, our selection is just unavailable. It isn't this. So this isn't quite working. This is an active level of 1, not an active level of 0. So that's why. If our aqueous was active level 1, just like our Flama, then this would work. Yeah. So look, if we were to go in here and say, well, our aqueous is actually level 1, we should get this. That makes sense. Yep, refining aqueous costs 25 sapphire. Okay. So that's working. Yeah, it's just we can't see it. But that's okay. Because we need to populate info table for active level 0 as well, which we are not doing. So it's almost like we could pull out the info table and say, well, if active level 0 or 1, then change it to this. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I kind of like it in an else if here, so maybe we continue with that. Let's keep going. Okay, refine echo to level 2 for the cost table of however many emeralds. Okay, so those are all, jeez man, those are all the options for a level 2 if our active level is 1. So, yeah, we need to do the other active levels adjustments as well as the current level 0 as well. So it's got a lot of boring stuff ahead of us, but at least it's kind of working. We do need to get, once we do this collision with a type of upgrade, we need to run this calculate, as well as, actually, yeah, if we run calculate, it should give us the info table for the right selection. Okay, let's try to get the initial info table populating right. So here it shouldn't say Flamma, it should be overwritten to you've already got Flamma unlocked, basically. Okay. Okay, well, let's look at when we run this calculate. And we do it here if we hit action on a dialog box. Okay, so it's not that because the thing is, the dialog box at this point in time is the dialog box that we initialize it as, the map declaration text parameter. But we need to run our new text init, our reinit, here. And that depends on the index number. So when we do this reinit, like in our upgrade element, we do this reinit. We need to do this. So it goes Flamma Equus Echo Lock. So here in the calculate, if it's a V2, we need to go and reinit and become activated for Flamma on V2. So let's see if that works. We should say, actually, info table nil. Well, we initialize it, so this upgrade element should be initialized with an info table, but I guess we need a selection first. So let's set our selection before we initialize this, so that our info table has a selection, and it's not a reinit on our self info table, it's actually on our active upgrade. And our active upgrade selection. Yeah, so once we calculate the selection, we generate the info, and then we actually update the text to be the correct text. I think that's right. We're looking for info line 1 here. Info table line 1. Great. Great. Okay. Kind of feel like it should be before the calculate, but if it ain't broke, celebrate. Let's do this. Every 2 is actually a 3 on Aquis. So this is basically overriding the original text parameter and turning it into a calculated string based on your active level, if you can afford it, that sort of deal. See, I don't like that it's hard coded in at this very specific scene, but this is the only scene we're planning on having these updates. So it's messy. I don't like it. I do think Sasquatch is right about a refactor once it's working. But yeah, basically, yeah, the line 1 should always be this. Oh, active. Okay, no, this is right. This should be right. Okay. I kind of want to just like save it here just in case we botch some stuff up. Let's just say that this is starting to add the info table for upgrades. You know, I don't think I've ever been mad that I had more commits, you know? So I think it's okay. Okay, upgrade element. Okay, let's do the active level 0 info tables. So we basically need to do this asking of the type. So if the type is equal to Flamma, we want an info table of all 3 to be kind of unique, but else if okay, we need to assign the info table here depending on what element we've got. So these are each line of the info table. So the idea is we would say, well, line 1, Flamma isn't going to have an active level of 0, so it doesn't really matter. But if something gets busted, I don't know, we'd say Flamma costs however much. So I'd say creating Flamma costs selection cost table 1 rupees, which is 10. And then info table 2, if our active level of 3, it would say level 2 Flamma requires level 1 Flamma first. Something like that. Level 2 Flamma requires level 1 first. Yep. Level 3 Flamma requires level 2 first. Okay, something very similar for the rest. But it's gonna be this. Instead of Flamma, this is Aquis. And not rubies, but sapphire. Selection cost, Aquis requires level 1 first, yeah. Creating Aquis costs 10 sapphires. Question mark? I am Ron Burgundy. Level 2 requires level 1 aqueous first. Level 3 requires level 2 first. Cool. Creating aqueous costs 10 sapphire. Not question mark. Okay. Creating echo costs 10 emeralds. Level 2 echo requires level 1 echo first. Level 3 echo requires level 2 echo first. Yeah, and then once these are unlocked, once you have the current level, active level better, it'll tell you how many it costs. But right now, it's like, dude, you gotta get level 2 first. You gotta get level 1 first. Level 1 is 10 emeralds. So just start there. Great, yeah, 10 topaz, level 1 first. Level 3 requires level 2 first. Cool, cool, cool. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so we've got active level 1, active level 0, so we need 2 and 3, which people probably aren't even going to get to, most people. But we need it. Okay, I'm gonna get a water refill. Be right back. Alright, this, as ugly as the implementation is, at least it looks cool in game. You know, like, we can't get these upgrades in the demo for these other elements, but I like the idea that the player can come in here and see what they cost or see what they are, know that they're in the game, or, you know that they will be in the game. So I think it's a nice little promise to be like, you've got the Flamma element, there's 3 more. Wow. Cool. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Active level 3 will say the same thing. It'll, I mean, you know, depending on the element, it'll just be like, hey, you've already unlocked this. Ooh. We do need to change. Yeah, we need to change. Oh, man. We do need to do the, you've already unlocked this level. Okay, so this is, if our active level is 2, it should be rendering whatever the next active level is, so we can go and do this. Let's just say our active level's 2 for both Aquis and Flamma. So we start on level 2, and refining to level 3 costs 50 rubies. So now level 3 says it costs 50 instead of says it requires level 2 first, because we have an active level of 2. Now we aren't doing every previous level, right? So we need to say, you know, if our active level is 2, basically unlock level 2 and level 1. Because we've got level 1. Well, actually, yeah. If it was active level 1, that should work. Actually, yeah. Yeah, no. We need to do a specific... Yeah, we need to do a specific render for if it's an active level 1 and if we're at an active level 1... Let's see. Because active level 1 should be on Flamma here. And let's see, I think it just says info table line 1. Yeah. Basically, we need to say if active level 1 and the selected line is 1, then info table is you've already unlocked level 1 Flamma. So in an active level 1, we basically want to say the result table, info table 2 at this point, because we have actually info table 1. Yeah, we would say info table 1 is you have already unlocked level 1 Plama. Uh-oh. This is in calculate, right? Yeah, calculate. Well, if our type is Flama, if our active level's 1, which it is, info table 1 should say this. Okay, so where are we doing our... Right here we say... What, info table? We define it here in the upgrade element, so once we make it, do we make it before we calculate? Yeah, I mean, we'd have to. Okay, well... Yeah, it should be just like this, where we're saying info table 1, 2, and 3 are these 3 values. The difference is we're in an active level 1, and we're in type Flama. Oh, rupee count is greater. Oh, it's actually right here. Actually, regardless of how much money you have, you've already unlocked level 1. You have already unlocked level 1 Flama. Cool. Refining Flama to level 2 costs 25. Great. And then, yeah, we got to get further. But here, you know, we just do the same thing for this. You've already unlocked level 1 Aquis. Okay, well, we don't have an active level 1 on any other thing, so it'll just say the creating costs for here. Okay. We're getting there, we're getting there. We don't have the functionality to actually buy the upgrade just yet, but we're getting all that nasty stuff done first. Okay, so if we're an active level of 2, we need to say active level 2 and 1 is already unlocked. So if it's a type Flama, we say both of these, level 1 and 2, are already unlocked. So if we're an active level 2, we've already unlocked them for both option 1 and 2. So this would be Aquis. We don't have any active level 2, but we should make it uncheck. So you've already unlocked level 1, refining to level 2 costs 25. That we still need level 3, but let's do an active level search here. It is in here in the refinery state of knit. We're gonna say both our Flama and Aquis are gonna both be active level 2, and we're gonna see that we've already got level 1 and 2 unlocked. You already have unlocked level 2. You already have unlocked level 1. Cool. And then level 3 would cost 50 at this point. Okay, you've already got level 2. Now notice how, since it's an active level, our cursor started right there on the level we have active. And we can go up to what we've already got unlocked, but we've already got unlocked, so it's only red if you can't afford the next level here. It's black if you've already got it unlocked. So red, it's red here on level 1 because we don't even have an active level. That's why we don't have the arrow key on the left. And it tells you what it costs to create the element in the first place. So that's looking right. So let's switch these to 3 to prep for once we code them to 3 right here. So if our active level is 3, we need to make all the info tables unlocked, which is very easy. We do need to check which element type it is. There is a kid screaming outside. Okay. Any level 3 should now be correctly saying that you've already unlocked everything. So this is level 3. You've already unlocked level 3. You've already unlocked level 2. You've already unlocked level 1. And they can get off by pressing A. So you've already unlocked, the active level's working. It still knows the cost, but it knows that you've unlocked it. So we've got all the right rendering for the color as well as the other stuff. Yeah, this one is all red because we can't even have a level 1, and this one's all red because we can't even have a level 1. It looks like it has the right values. And it'll only show you the cost of the value next that you can unlock. So it won't tell you this costs 50 because it doesn't cost 50, it costs a level 2 plus 50. So once you get level 2, it'll tell you 50. But for right now, it says you can only create it with 10. Okay. Sweet. So at this point, we can probably try to actually incorporate the upgrade, which we have actually, yeah, we just have a calculate that gets the right if you're able to afford it, but we don't have okay, you advance the page, the dialog box is a type upgrade, and you were on a selection of which you had enough inventory for the given type of an active upgrade. And Unema, hey, thank you for the raid, welcome in. Nima, thank you for the raid. I'll give you a shout out real quick. How did your stream go? So yeah, we're working on our upgrade system here. And we just got it to the point where it'll kind of tell you what you can afford. So it'll say, oh nice, what language and framework or whatever are you doing? Engine and language. Oops. Unity, okay, nice. I've got a book on Unity and I have only read like 3 pages. But I got into Love2d instead of Unity. Yeah, so I'm interested in the 3D stuff, but starting with 2D first. So I might get over to it. I might do Godot. I might do I don't know what. I don't know. So we're it's going to take me at least another year to finish this game. What I want to do, I want to go back to the active level, reset it to 1. Okay, nice. Yeah, I definitely did do a little bit of 2D Unity, not a lot though. This is great. Cool. So let's test something here. We've got 9 rubies. It costs 25 rubies to upgrade to level 2. So if we were to go and change this to 25 or more... Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're kind of at the point... We're trying to get all like the mechanics and spellcasting and dungeon stuff done, and then I'm gonna go touch up some of the overworld art because some of the stuff. Cool. Okay, so we gave ourselves 25 rupees. Now this outline turned to green because we had enough, and the text changed from it costs 25 rupees to a question saying, "Do you want to refine Flamma to level 2 for 25 rupees?" Now you can press B to cancel or A to hopefully accept, and then we need to do that still. Do the actual purchasing. But I do want to also go into our refinery state, turn off this green render. Because this is just to prove that we were in a different state than the play state. And then when we go and render our upgrades, let's just turn off the text that we're rendering here, which is what was it? Exactly, yes, it is definitely heavily Link's Awakening inspired. That is the game it's modeled after. Yeah, where are we rendering this? It's not in the refinery state. It might be in the upgrade. Yeah, it's in the upgrade. Cost and selection. So let's see. Right here. These. But yeah, I hope you had a good stream, Ayunema. I don't know, are you part of the indie game dev team? Or did you just happen to stumble upon me? So our game, you know, it's like Link's Awakening, but like in Link's Awakening, right, you gather all the instruments to awake the windfish, but you don't get to really play the instruments. So I wanted to make a game where you actually can play the instruments as part of the game. So we have this lute that you can equip, and then it pulls up like a little loop mini game where you can do different frets and different strings. So if you hit the string at the right time, you can get the right notes. So we don't have the full song programmed in there yet, but I've got a melody and a bass note repetition that I'm happy with. I just need to sit down and actually transcribe it into my game's music system. So I've got it to the point where it's going to work. I just need to get the right timing. So it's going to take a little while to manually put in all the notes there because the notation is a little weird. So, and it's tough to play. It's tough to play at this current speed. So we might slow it down a bit. But then we've got this dungeon, which has bats and stuff. So you've got a spellcast fire element here, and you can break boxes with your magic. And you can, the idea here is like if you break the crates, it'll unblock the bat holes that they're flying out of and unleash them. So you don't always want to break the crates. It depends on if you need to get where you're going or if you don't want the bats to fly out and come get you. We do need to add... Yo, Quellis, what's up? Hey, welcome back. Yeah, welcome back. I've got to check out Ayanima's stream sometime. But yeah, here's our first dungeon, which it isn't... I mean, it is actually quite hard. For me, since I've been playing the game, it's doable. And if you know what you're trying to do, it's doable. But something like this level is actually... Oh gosh, I'm going to die. This level is actually really tough. Oh my god, because... Yeah, good news is you can always reset the level by walking out and coming back. Oh my god. So yeah. This is the first level. So the idea here is you don't want to break the crates. You want to use the crates to block the bat holes from being covered. Like if you break the crates, it'll unblock the holes that the bats are coming out of, like right here and here and here and here, and then you have to fight like up to 5 or 6 bats. So the goal on this last scene is like you don't want to break the crates, because if you break the crate, then the bats will climb out and murder you. So we don't have the outside of this just yet, but this is where once you get out of the first dungeon, you come out over here, you'll unlock a shortcut so that you don't have to go through the dungeon again to get back to the village. And then we'll also unlock the first sheet music for the loot, which is right here. So you'll get one, this, all 4 are here, but none are selectable. You basically make an active sheet music. So it's like if you don't have one equipped, you can just kind of like free play the loot. Or if you have one equipped, then the Guitar Hero notes kind of scroll on for you to try to play the mini game. And then you've got different tunics that do different things. The green one allows you to push items, which right now we're pushing it regardless, but we don't have it. We just have to add a thing that says you can't push a pushable unless your green tunic's equipped. So we do need to add that. And then he's holding the little spell cast. Once you equip the spell, he's kind of holding it. So he's got a couple different layers of outfit to kind of render on top. But yeah, so we're trying to finish. What's up, Loki? How's it going? I think you've been lurking for a while now, though, right? I think you've been lurking for a little while. Welcome in, man. Yeah, we're basically at the time. We're basically at the time where we need to go. Hey, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. I'll have to check out your stream sometime. I'll shoot you a follow back too. Yeah, I'll have to check out your channel sometime. But we just got, this is huge, that we've got our upgrade system kind of organized now. So I'm happy with it. We just need to make it actually do the upgrades. So what it has been, it's been a 4-hour stream today. I think I'm gonna call it here. We're at a good spot. I'm just low energy, so I think we'll find someone to pass the raid train to, and then yeah, call it a night. But thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the raid. I appreciate it. I wish I had more energy. I'm just wasted. So we'll just commit and call it a night. let's see, we have basically all the info table for the upgrade system. So we'll just say added info table filled out or upgraded elements. Cool. Yep, we'll pass along the raid train. Quellis, always good to see you. Let's see, we've got Hypnotic Games. He's like always streaming. Trying to see if there's someone. Yeah, I don't think we can. I tried. Okay, yeah, let's just raid out to Hypnotic here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Oh, actually, I'm going to run credits here, and then we'll start the raid train here. So we'll get credits rolling, and I'll be back tomorrow. I try to do everyday development. I'm fairly successful at doing it every day, but we're trying to finish the demo by April 1st, so we're kind of on it, hoping to finish the demo by April 1st. I mean, all the guts, all the main parts, and then we're going to polish up for a couple weeks and play test. So, like, I just want the most of it done by April 1st, and then we'll start the polishing and refinement stuff. Hopefully not adding any features after April 1st. So that's the goal, and we will raid out. I should have hit raid, my bad. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for the raid. I appreciate it. Thanks for the follows, all the support. I appreciate it. Hope you all have a great night.